Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the incredible, timeless wisdom of one of America's greatest business philosophers, the one and only Jim Rohn, and his powerful blueprint for designing a life you actually want to live. So we're diving straight into the core principles from his classic book. And look, these ideas aren't about shortcuts or get-rich-quick schemes. They're about the fundamental disciplines that have, no joke, transformed countless lives. You see, Rohn's whole point was that success isn't about luck. It's not magic. It's simply the natural result of applying a few key principles over and over again. It's a system that anybody can learn.
But to really get where he's coming from, we have to start with the story. It's about a promise he made to himself when he hit rock bottom. A single moment that completely flipped his life around.
$57. At 25 years old, that was Jim Rohn's weekly paycheck. Can you imagine? He was broke, he was behind on all the promises he'd made to his family, and he just felt completely and utterly trapped.
And that was it. That was his breaking point. That's the vow he made to himself right after he had lied to a little Girl Scout because he couldn't even afford a $2 box of cookies. That one moment of pure embarrassment became his fuel for change.
You know, it's funny how things work. Because not long after hitting that low, his luck changed. He met a man named Earl Schaff, who would go on to teach him a whole new philosophy on life and success. So after Rohn is pouring his heart out, explaining all his struggles, Schaff looks at him and asks this simple but absolutely devastating question. It just forced Rohn to realize that his life wasn't just happening to him, it was the result of a flawed plan he had bought into without even realizing it.
Okay, so let's get into the absolute foundation of what Schaff taught him. This is the one ingredient, the one word, that makes every single one of the other strategies actually work.
Rohn learned that discipline isn't some kind of punishment. No, it's the bridge that takes you from having a good idea in your head to a real result out in the world. It's that choice to do the hard stuff now so you can have everything you want later. It's the magic that turns an idea into reality.
Now, what's so powerful about this is how it frames both failure and success. See, neither one is some big, earth-shattering event. They're both just the slow, steady result of all those tiny little habits compounding over time. It's the 5 calls you didn't make today or the 1 extra you did. It all adds up. So once he had that foundation of discipline down, Schaff gave Rohn the actual blueprint, the 7 core strategies for building a life of both wealth and happiness. And here they are. These are the 7 big ones that make up the whole framework. We're going to walk through them because, like Rohn always said, if you can just master these few things, that's 80% of the difference between winning and losing right there. Okay, strategy number 1 is the starting line. Unleash the power of goals. You have to define your future so clearly, so vividly, that it basically acts like a giant magnet pulling you forward. But a goal without action is just a wish, right? Which is why it ties directly to strategy 6. You have to apply both hard and smart work to make that vision a reality. Next up, strategy 2, seek knowledge. And man, this quote from Rohn just says it all. The idea is simple. If you want to earn more, you have to learn more. But this isn't just about reading books. It's about taking that knowledge and using it to achieve strategy 3, to master yourself. Your habits, your mindset, your emotions. See how they're linked? Self-education leads to self-mastery. So, once you're working on your inner world, you have to take a hard look at your outer world. This brings us to strategy 5, which is all about who you surround yourself with. Rohn's famous rule is represented by this number. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. They will either lift you up or drag you down. You've got to choose that inner circle with intention. And just like you have to manage your social circle, you absolutely have to manage your money. This is strategy number 4. Control your finances. And as it says here, it's not just about earning a big paycheck. Real financial freedom comes from the discipline of having a plan for your money, spending less than you earn, and then putting the rest to work for you. All right, let's move on to the final, and I think the most powerful idea Rohn ever shared. This is about the real reason you do all this hard work, and it perfectly ties into that final strategy, to live well. So why do all this? What's the actual purpose of setting goals? Rohn believed that we usually get this all wrong. We think it's about getting the car, the promotion, the stuff, but that's not the real prize. It is not about what you get. The real prize, the real treasure, is the person you must become to achieve those goals. It's the skills, the knowledge, the discipline, the character you build along that journey. That is the real win. And that leaves us with this final thought that just wraps it all up. Your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. So the ultimate strategy for a better life isn't just to work harder on your job, it's to work harder on yourself. Because the person you become along the way is capable not just of achieving wealth, but of living a life of true happiness and gratitude.